All right, we are here in campus instruction, and I'm in the message center. You can find that on the left side. One of the benefits of having all of our grades synced from Schoology into Infinite Campus is that you are able to run a missing assignment report and send that out to families. And something to consider is doing that weekly or at least on the grade sync calendar so that, on the grade sync, you've kind of updated your grades, and now you want to send families a personalized message about what their son or daughter is missing. So here's what you can do. Go to the message center, click new, and class message. This is if you just want to send a regular message that says whatever you'd like. So you can use that. It's great. You'll be able to send messages like if there's a test coming up or there's something they should be thinking about. You can certainly use that. But there's a drop-down menu, and there's a couple other options. The one I'm talking about today is the missing assignment message. Before I choose that, I do want to comment on the grades message. The grades message is actually not that useful, in our opinion, because you'd think it would send the current grade, but it doesn't. All it does is it tells the family your child has a grade in this class, and why don't you log in and check out what it is. So that's not as useful. They can always sign into Schoology and do that. So that's fine. But the one we want to focus on that I think is pretty cool is the missing assignment message. So you choose that and just leave the user group field at user. If you've never done this before, just leave this at new, because if I click that, I've done a few of these, and what you can do is when you customize them to your liking, you can save them. And so that's what I did. I have some that I saved, but for this video, we'll just do new. Pretend this is your first time. You can choose a delivery date, so you could schedule this for sometime in the future if you wanted. The default is going to be the current date and time, and so I'm making this video on Valentine's Day, and so 1:30 p.m., but you could pick a future date if you want to send this out, say on Friday or some other time. One thing that I like to do is change the sender display name to, your name. So, Teacher X, whatever your name is, or Mr. Z, or whatever Mrs., Ms. Y, whatever it is. So go ahead, customize that to your liking. You can also customize these other things. So like missing assignment is, here's work your child or your student, maybe student's a better word, is missing in, and then you can call it, name whatever class it is. So just an update. You can change this to whatever you want. And then you can even attach something. So let's say there's a study guide for a test that many kids are missing. You could even attach that, or something interesting coming up in your class. I mean, you could take advantage of the opportunity to attach something if you want. Now, down here in the body of the message, here's where you can customize it. And there's one area you're going to want to customize for sure. So the default message says your student, and it's student first name. So it's going to take all the names of your kids, put them in there automatically as it generates. You'll see that in future steps. And it has the following missing assignments, and it's going to list all of the assignments that that student is missing. So if a student is missing nothing, there's going to be nothing that shows up there. If a student is missing two things, both of those will show up, and so on. So here's the part that I would customize, because we're directing them here in this boilerplate message to go into Infinite Campus to find out more information. So here's where you might want to say, please, sign into, let me just change this, Schoology at learn.ardale, if I can spell that right, .org, to find more detailed information or something. If I even wanted to add something about, you could even, if you feel like it, you could say, if no assignments are listed above, that means your student is on track or is caught up on their work. All right. So, you can put whatever you want in this message. You can customize it. That's my point. So then, if you've customized this, here's where I could save this. So if I customize this and I say, okay, this is a message I want to use all the time, so I'm going to save this as my, Mr. G's missing work report or missing work update, whatever you want to call it. So you can save that, and then every single time when you want to generate a new message, I'll close this and show you this. If I go to a new message now, I can choose that template. Oops, I need to go to my missing assignment template or missing assignment message, and then that template is saved under there, and there it is, Mr. G's missing work update. And now, here's where I'd put Mr. G. But then down below, you can see everything I just typed is all saved. Okay, so you can save it. Now, what I do is after I've got this ready, I will say next. And here's a couple important things. If you take a look, you're going to see it should default to the current term you're in. If you haven't been in here a while, sometimes I've seen it goes back to the beginning. So at any rate, I can go right into Q3, which is where I am. You pick whatever quarter you want. If you choose all students, it's going to look for, every single student in your class. You can choose specific students if you want, but that's up to you. Then for term Q3 assignments, you can expand this or whatever it is. And so here's, these are the assignments in my class so far. What I generally do is I just pick all of them. That way, if a student is missing any assignments in my class, it's just going to pick every one that, that they're missing, basically. And so I like that list to be complete. The quick way to do it is just check this box right here. Allow repeat messages. That's important because if you're going to be sending this several times during the course, you want to make sure that it's allowed to send messages later in the course again. If you don't check that, you might get nobody. So I recommend checking this. That just means that the same student can receive messages from you repeated times. And that's great because I want to send this every so often so families are updated. Then you say next, and it's going to tell you some information, the recipient count. It'll show you a little summary of what the message will be like. And then what I would always recommend is before you just click send, review the recipients. I'm not going to show that because I don't want to show any student data, but if I click review recipients, it's going to show me all the students it's going to go to, and I can even preview what those messages look like. So that's a really nice thing to know about, and I would recommend it as a safeguard. But once you're done, click send, and it will just send out that message to all the parent guardians of your students. Hope this helps.